Hello, hello. Welcome to class today. Today is Psoas Day. So the Psoas, if you saw that the title of this demo is the Psoas and you've heard of it and you're curious, let me explain it a little bit to you. So the psoas is a very, very deep muscle, and it's very important. It lifts our leg up and down, although the important thing to know about it is that it actually starts in the back, and it comes through the body and then down the front, kind of in that hip flexor region here. So the way to find it manually is a little bit challenging because you kind of have to dig underneath your rectus abdominis, or the muscle that's closest to your skin that gives you definition. And then you have internal and external obliques, and then it's even underneath that. So the transverse abdominis is a super, super important muscle that I talk a lot about in core work. But the psoas is one that I like to focus on to release it, because when this particular muscle gets tight or bound up, it can cause a whole host of issues. Sometimes we don't even associate it with the potential of causing issues, but it's there. So it's difficult to get to unless someone's digging in, like a massage therapist or a physical therapist, but there is a way that you can affect it with this body work. It's a little bit tricky, so stick with me with the cues and give it a try, and then let me know what you think afterwards. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message. All right, what else do you need to know about the psoas? Oh, emotions. So I have been talking a bunch about how we hold our emotions in our fascia, or in our connective tissue, or in our body. And when you release or work on the psoas, there is potential for a shift of feelings, of emotions to come up. If that happens, it's not necessarily a bad thing. What's happening is that you're able to release maybe something that you've been holding on to, an emotion or a feeling from somewhere in your past. And there's a lot more information, but let's just leave it at that this work, particularly the psoas, can be emotional as well. All right, let's do a little warm up and let's just get into it. First, take a seat on the floor, in a chair, it doesn't matter where. Feel free to sit on a block or a pillow to give yourself a little bit of a lift. If not, just first settling into wherever you feel most comfortable. Legs are crossed, although you can keep them in front of you like a butterfly or underneath you. I have my little cozies on today, a little chilly in here. Take your hands and place them on your knees. Take a moment to settle in that you have even body weight distribution and body weight into your sits bones, so that you're not shifting more to one side than the other. If you are, that tells you something, but just try to achieve even body weight distribution as best you can. Lengthening your spine, but being mindful not to lift your rib cage up too much. You don't want to suck it in, but just shift it over the pelvis. Shoulder blades gliding down your back and chin to the throat tuck. Take a moment to take a deep breath in. Letting it all out. One more time, in through the nose and out. Shoulders relaxed. Okay, activation happens by pressing your hands into your knees and back as if they want to slide behind you. Once you feel that, you might feel it in the chest. You're going to take your belly button and pull it away from your hands, rounding your spine, dropping your chin towards your sternum. Now from here, this is very important, I want you to contract your abdominals and think about that psoas, kind of in a space at the bottom of your rib cage, above your hip bone, right in there. I didn't say that before, and I should have, but that's where you're kind of digging in. Below the base of the rib cage, above the hip bone, in that space to the side of the belly, right there. Okay, sorry, I should have said that before. All right, so you're back. Let's start this again. Now I want you to feel that area as best you can contract. Press your hands into your knees and imagine that you're trying to keep your belly crunched in and rounded, but your chest is going to start to come forward. I'm tightening my abdominals, but focusing on that area, bringing my sternum through. Relax, bring it back down. So this is position one. Activate, feel it maybe a little bit lower in your belly. Keep it as you slowly start to lengthen up out of it. reaching the sternum to the sky, gazing on the diagonal in front of you. 3 more. Bring it back down. Engage your belly. Keep engaging it as if it wants to stay where it started. But then the movement takes you in the opposite direction. Drop it back to relax. Activate, hands into the knees, belly's engaged. Keep it engaged. So we're starting to work in the fascia, in and around some of the abdominal muscles, and also the organs. Here we go. Activate. Focus on engaging the entire time you have movement. That's the fascia magic. One more time. Bring it back. Activate. You can see me from the side here. Keep tightening here the entire time the movement happens. Let that breath flow. Good. We're going to get into a deeper one in just a moment. Taking a moment to settle back into neutral spine and position. Engage your glutes. Your sits bones are even again. Take one hand down to the ground and press it into the floor. Opposite arm is going to reach up to the sky, and you're going to tilt just a little bit to look up at your hand. Now think of that openness in that side here. Keeping pressing down into the floor with one hand, up to the sky with the other, and activating your legs. There's always activation with fascia work. Inhale and exhale. You start to reach it across the body, but you're going to pull the same side rib cage in the opposite direction. So my arm is reaching out and my body is reaching back. Inhale, stay. Exhale, stay. Inhale, reach it up and bring that arm down. Place the other arm into the ground, press it down active, reaching up with the other side. Take a moment here to notice any differences you might feel. I just noticed my ribs totally shifted in a totally different way than when I did that first side. Trying to maintain neutral. Good. Now this hip is reaching down, so the arm that's up, the same hip's reaching down. Take an inhale, and now reaching across. Ribs are going to pull in the opposite direction of the arm. Hold that there for 3, 2, 1. Reach that arm back up and back down to your side. Okay, now we're getting into the deeper psoas release. Feel free to roll something up underneath your knee if you need to. Bring one foot in front, one foot in, or leg down. Double check that that front knee isn't past your toes. Keep it behind your toes. Hips squared, shoulders squared. All right, now here we're getting into it. I'm going to be talking and describing it, but try to really come into your own body and place all your focus in that space between the ribs and your hip. On the leg that's down. That's the side we're focusing on first. So for me, if this is my left, it's the left psoas that we're focusing on, or the right, depending on which one you're doing. So to shorten first, you're actually going to round forward and down. Now, 2 things are going to happen here. I'm going to grab your wrist like this, and I'm going to kind of start with that elbow. Same, everything side, left, 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 or right, right, right. Gonna kick this elbow down as if it wants to stay going down towards the floor by contracting in that area. And the second thing is that the knee that's down on the floor is gonna resist forward. It's gonna be hard to see it in my body as I do it, but that's what's happening, and I'll kind of keep going back and repeating. Here's what it looks like. All right, I can already feel it contracting. Keep contracting it. Now you're gonna let the arm that's on top overpower and start to bring the arm that's down up and over and slightly back, as long as everything feels okay in your back. All the while, I'm constantly pushing this knee forward and firing, firing, firing. Let's go into it again. Round it down. Find your grip here, so like this. Add your activation, but don't move yet. I want you to take a moment to feel it. Bottom knee is resisting forward. Your front foot's naturally resisting back. Squeeze, contract that left side, right side, sorry, whatever side you're doing. Keep that contraction the entire movement. It might be hard to breathe at times, but I'm always resisting this way and here the entire time the movement's happening there. Here we go. taking it at your own pace or following me. Again, make sure to find your connection before the movement happens. And down. Stay with it. Good. Down, kick down. Fire that area between the lower rib cage and the hip on the same side. One more time. Activate. Stay with it. Your other arm's getting workout. Oh, okay, rest. Take a moment to sit for a second. Inhale and exhale. Notice anything that you're feeling in your body, that awareness, which you'll see me talk about later in the week. I call it the BI, the body intelligence. It's what your body is communicating to you as you're doing work. I actually feel, rather than right in the psoas area, I feel it more on the outside of my hip and actually down a little bit. So you might not feel it directly in the psoas, although you are affecting that area. But wherever your body is referring tightness or congestion, you'll probably feel it there first, and that's totally normal. Bring the other foot forward, switching sides. All right, whew. All right, hips, I felt a lot during that first one. Hips are squared off, shoulder blades set, rib cage in. Cushion under the bottom knee or not. Bend this elbow, grab a hold with the opposite hand, round it down. Position 1. Activate down with the elbow, tightening, engaging the psoas on the side that's shortened. Bottom knee resists forward. Hold it here for 2 seconds. Keep it. And slowly start to create your movement. Up, maybe slightly back in the opposite direction. And bring it down. Relax on the way down. Activate. Keep that activation. I'm feeling actually a lot more on this side. And back down. If you're not feeling it and it's kind of wacky to do it, it's okay. This work is unique. It's different. Your body's not used to it. Or maybe it is and you've been following with me for a while now, but this particular movement is new or foreign in your body. It's all a journey. Back down. On this particular side, I have built up scar tissue underneath the upper part of my rib cage from pregnancies, which kind of causes some imbalances in the rib cage area. And I'm actually feeling that more than the psoas. It's a little bit higher up here, but again, that's where something is different within my body and different on this side. These are the things I want you to start to think about as you're doing this work. This helps the work to evolve and change and help you more and more as you continue. Ooh, one more time. Whew. Keeping the resistance of the knee forward. Fire that area. I just got a little bit deeper. Oh, now I felt like something crazy, like nerve go. And relax. You might be making funny sounds while you're doing this work. I'm obviously talking because I want you to learn how to do it. But do a couple more on your own. Maybe go back to the first side. Do 5 to 10 of them. Go back to the side that we just finished on. And just play with it a little bit. See what you're feeling. Sometimes just even going in manually. It's better maybe if you're laying on your back and just finding that space there. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It really, the psoas is deep underneath all of these other layers and muscles. So if you're laying down, I can even just show you here. Finding a comfortable position. Make sure that the pelvis is neutral and you're not crunching your back down into the floor, that your sacrum, that triangular bone at the base of your spine is connected. Soften into the belly. And as you're kind of moving your fingers around, you'll feel kind of like it's almost like a button, like you'll feel it and you're like, oh my gosh. Once you have it, you can move that leg open and close or down and up, moving it around a little bit and just keeping a gentle pressure into that psoas or that uncomfortable kind of triggery type of feeling. Breathing into it, and each time you exhale, Imagine that you're softening and surrendering, and even softening any discomfort you feel, almost like you're taking control of the pain or sensation a little bit and softening it. One more inhale. If you're joining me on the floor, exhale. And then same thing on the other side. So, and you might notice quite a difference on each side. Be gentle with yourself. There's a lot of work that can be done in the psoas, and quite honestly, a lot of us probably need extra because, again, I know I talk about our modern life all the time, sitting more than we typically should be or than we were even just a year ago. So these are really some good tools that if things are just kind of building up a little bit, just lay on your back, kind of get in there a little bit, or do the one that we demoed on the knee where you're pulling up and over. So thank you, so many people watching. I'm so happy to see you guys. This is fantastic. I have some exciting stuff coming up. Of course, just a reminder, my website, I have a 5-day fascia course there, which has a fascia flow in it, where I just take you through what you learn in the course through 10 to 15 minute flow and putting it together. And so there's going to be a lot more of that coming this year, where you're actually being able to take the work that you've learned in some of these introductory courses and apply it to a flow sequence, which is great. And then I have a neck course coming out in a couple of weeks. So that's being worked on and integrated right now. So everything neck coming your way. Thank you for messages and supporting me. I'm super excited about this work. It's showing up, guys, everywhere. There's people talking about it like crazy, and there's good reason for it. So very much appreciated. You guys are the best. This is so great. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone.